Welcome to the November 4th Park and Rec meeting. I'm Claire Kincaid Dunn, taking over for Rose Dostert today. We're calling the meeting to order at 6:32. Is there anyone in the public forum that would like to speak?
Would you like a little bit of humor?
Sure.
I want to move this along. Hi, Susan Egan, 144 Chaffin Chiland Road. I've come here to talk about the splash pad. I don't know if anyone is aware, but there is a splash pad down at Clinton at the town beach.
Yes.
Yep.
You are.
Yes.
It's kind of a minimalist, so you have seen it.
Yes.
And you know how teeny tiny it is.
Yep.
So it made me smile when I saw it. And I don't think that's the approach that Guilford is going to take. I think they want a little bit more. I would hope that they would want a little bit more than what Clinton has put up. Clinton, as I said, is minimalist, but it made me smile when I saw it.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, moving forward, correspondence. The first one was from Will Thompson back in August. He was asked if he wanted to make a proposal for the splash pad, as he has done work at Jacobs. This was his letter of turning it down. He had some comments about his concerns about having it at Jacobs. So you guys read that.
Did we already get this?
Yes.
Why are we getting it again?
It wasn't read into the minutes because it was part of a proposal, not a correspondence. So I'm making it a correspondence for him now. The next one is an email from Rick to myself and Rose about the peddler's ordinance. I did forward these to Matt, and he is getting me answers on all of these, or beginning a conversation so we can move forward with that. Nothing was forwarded, so we can go on to the approval of our October 7th minutes. Any changes, questions? Everything is good.
Make a proposal to approve the October minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Abstain, I wasn't here.
And review of our October expenditures. Rick, I had one question on page 3 of 4. The William Scotsman's monthly rental of what?
That's the, yeah, I'm sorry, Nancy, but that's the trailer, the office trailer down at the
Oh.
garage, the office space. It's a monthly fee.
I think that was the only one I had. And just a side note, not of spending, but have we been less this year on the, for the grass seed and all of that? The grass looks great. I know you guys switched up your levels of stuff and trying new things, so is this month comparable to last year, or are we?
We're spending a little more because the grass seed we're getting is a different quality.
Okay.
Some of it, and it's Tom Irwin, the herbicides. It's not all herbicide is it's herbicide, pesticide, it could be either one. But it's a different product, and we're also, some of these things are soil amendments, of things that Tony's trying, the organic things we're putting into the soil to see if that's helping build the grass a little bit better, but fields are looking really good.
I have to say soccer field was awesome
Yeah.
this season, so good job.
Taking a different approach, and it's working well.
Anyone else have questions or comments on the
Yes, I do. On
bills?
page 404 on our favorite subject, the science building weight room. We're paying for a telephone system of $139 a month, or is that a quarterly?
It's not, it's
That's the
no, it's that's monthly. It's a security, it's not a phone, it's a security system. Just like we have a security system here,
Okay.
but that's what it is, a security system. It goes
Okay.
through a phone line. But yeah, we're saddled with all the utilities for that.
Okay. The second question is, I was over at the high school yesterday, and there was a huge dumpster parked out in front. Renovations are going through by Board of Education, not from us, I can imagine.
I'm sorry, where was it?
It was
right
at the front
outside.
door of the science building leading towards a
Oh.
new athletic field.
Yeah, I saw that.
Been there a while.
I think it's at the level of the new, not in the back, it's in the front.
It's
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
front, yes.
Yeah,
Upper level.
I'm only guessing they're cleaning out that upper level. You know, it's all Board of Ed stuff in there. That, I'm guessing, I don't know that, but I would assume that's what that's for.
Okay.
That's not ours.
We won't see this on
No.
our bill come next month. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Can I get someone to approve our October bills? Make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the October bills for the amount submitted.
I'll second it.
$108,106.44.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Department report. Rick, anything you want to highlight? Or
Yeah, just a few of the, maybe the back end there. The senior holiday fair, it was a pretty busy weekend. We had the senior, 55-plus fair here on a week ago Saturday, and it was very well attended, higher than it's been in years. And then the day after, the Spooktacular, it was scheduled on the green, you were here.
Yep.
It was here instead. I think we had about 500 or so people come through, and I don't know where people parked, but it was pouring out, and kids were coming in with their costumes and no rain suits, but it was good. Staff did a great job. Ellen and Taryn kind of shifting. We pretty much knew on Friday that it was going to be here, not outside, so shifting ideas, and we had maintenance crew on Saturday start setting up the rooms on Saturday, and then Sunday morning they did a little more, and so it was all ready to go when everybody got here.
It was a great flow.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the trunk or treat part up here flowed really well. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do to avoid a huge line. There
Right.
were a zillion kids here.
Right.
But I think that it was set up really well to flow through for
Yeah,
everyone.
definitely it was a good flow, and the
Yeah.
building, looked okay afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a mess, a lot of kids in here, but it worked out. Thank God we have this as a backup for those kinds of things. The only thing else I think I'll mention, number 12, we had, someone tried to light the restroom at Jacobs Beach on fire. And it was, fortunately, the fire department got there quick enough, there was no structural damage. I'm working with, I met with two different cleanup companies today and Friday there. And I've got some prices. It's going to be expensive to clean up. No structural damage, but the smoke, soot,
The plastic.
the plastic, yeah.
Rick, how they tried to bring it, cellar in there, or what? Is there nothing in there to set on fire, right?
Paper towel dispenser. Yeah. I'll just leave it at this. Detectives are working on it. And I hope we catch who did it, and they are going to be paying for it if we can. get
Last
it.
month, we discussed the idea of putting electric at Bittner and here. Can this advance that decision now to take away any type of?
Hand dryers?
Hand dryers,
Yeah, I
yes.
think we definitely got to think about doing that. I think I put that under, Todd has in his report, and I wanted to discuss that, but I think we should go forward and do that. I think that would definitely be a good idea.
Do we have enough power in the buildings to handle it?
We have to check that out. I think we do, but we got to probably have our electrician look at, or find out what the power needs are, and then we can determine if we can.
Because those things do
break
use
wires.
a lot of.
They do, yeah.
A lot of heat, a lot of electricity.
It would probably have to be a wire directly going back to a circuit, I would think, probably just
Mhm.
for that. But we can determine that.
Okay. Question on number 10, do you want to defer that to Standing Fields Committee?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah,
Regarding the synthetic turf
yeah.
at the high school, Kavanaugh Field, just for those who don't have one of these.
Anyone else for Rick? Okay. Anthony's report. Tony.
I'll just highlight two of his bullets about the playground mulch. We had, a Paraguay high tide again with one of the storms 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, not the one last week, but when the water came up into the playground and washed the mulch out, so we had to replace all that mulch. And it kind of spread it all out, kind of mostly toward the boat racks, that's where it kind of washed up. And we were there with our beach cleaner, actually using that to clean up the mulch, and did a decent job, just still a little bit down there. But we, to get that playground back open, we had to get new mulch and put it there, because there was none left. And we can't, safety-wise, you can't have kids on those climbing apparatus without the safety surfacing there. So we had to put caution tape up and signs that it was closed. It was closed for maybe a week or a little more than that, I guess, but we got it.
I walk by that playground all the time. It's an amazing amount of adults I see on that equipment.
Really?
It's just like, I don't get it.
Young at heart.
Do they have little?
No, I mean, it's not funny. I mean, it's,
Yeah, that
it's-
was
it's just like,
Are they on the
All right,
preschool
yeah,
one or the other
so,
one?
you know the little swings for the infants?
Yeah.
I saw an adult on that.
Really?
I see
Oh,
adults
yeah.
on the seesaw, whatever. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah, they should be on the preschool. The regular swings are fine, but not the preschool ones.
yeah.
When did the boat racks need to be cleaned out?
I think the deadline is the 10th, this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went by there today. There's still a lot of.
Still a lot
work.
there.
I was going to say, this is a public service announcement now.
So, yeah, what we do is we kind of give them a reminder, like the week after, and then we give you one last shot. If they're not out by such and such a date, we're going to take them out, and you got to pay to get them back.
Is it email or is it by?
Email.
Email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have everybody's email address on file.
They may want to post it on Facebook as well, on the town page.
Or to get it on the patch?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that out.
Ellen's report.
I don't know where the appropriate time to bring this up is, so, since we're talking about playgrounds and such. One thing that has come to my attention, because I've been there a couple times where this happened, is the Guilford Lakes tennis court. There's dogs on it all the time. And it just became a big issue yesterday, because there was a softball game, it's right there. 2 people were playing tennis with their 4 dogs in there. They were approached, the dogs, of course, relieved themselves in there, and parents were really mad, because the response was, there were little kids saying, it says no dogs allowed, loudly, and the adults who were playing just kept doing what they were doing and were,
Is there a
pretty.
sign up there?
There's a
Sign
sign, yeah. And
There's
it's not.
one at Adams, and
I've never
it's
kn-
disregarded.
See, and I drive, I've been more at Guilford Lakes because my daughter's been playing softball there, which is now over. But I think I think you'll be hearing from some people, because it was just, I think, push people over the edge. Well, kids have tennis lessons there in the morning, the dogs, relieve themselves. So I don't know what's to be done, because,
I think when you're there, whoever sees them, just call the police department.
Yeah.
It's the animal control officer, if she's on duty, would, have to come out or the police. It's a sign saying no dogs.
yeah.
I always say signs only work if people read them and abide by them. So often that people, even here, it's very clearly marked one way, and people drive in the exit, or they drive out the entrance. I've actually taken my truck and blocked them. I've parked in front of them and said, get out, it's one way, you gotta go the other way. But anyway, signs only work if people read them and abide by them, and unfortunately.
They read them, they just were actively not abiding
Yeah,
by
right.
it, so.
Those rules are for.
They were for other people.
They're not for them,
I
they're for
know,
other
they were
people.
for other people,
Yeah,
but I just
right.
wanted to bring it up because I think
Yeah.
it's an issue there, and the kids do take tennis lessons there in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're not cleaning up stuff.
No.
No, they don't. They leave it. I'm like, I
They
don't think
they just
this
left
is-
it there?
Yeah. No, well, at Adams, they have. And I'm like, well, I don't think it's in my contract, but I'm picking up dog. The bags are right there, that they could come out of court, get the bag, clean up after themselves. But then it cracks me up because I'll find the bag outside the garbage. They couldn't even lift
Mhm.
it up to put.
Well, there are no bags at least, because I don't think there's supposed to be
No.
dogs there anyway, right?
No,
Because
there
it's
aren't
school, so,
supposed-
but,
well, yeah.
anyway, it was a situation.
Dogs aren't allowed in this building, right?
Unless it's service dogs.
Service dog. Yeah, obviously, yeah.
I mean, I will say, occasionally I've seen somebody, they're just coming in to register for a program, they're in for like 5 minutes and they're out. And I've seen, because they walk here maybe sometimes, some people, they got their dog with them. Sometimes I've mentioned something they know, and I mean, they're here 5 minutes. They're not in a program, bringing their dog here.
Well, I'm going to do this as a segue from what I had yesterday then, about people and trash. Officiated a soccer game at the new soccer field yesterday.
This up behind,
This is the new artificial field,
oh.
At the high school.
at the high school.
Upper field,
Upper field at the high school.
practice field or whatever.
And I have to say, I'm very disappointed in the citizens of Guilford who allow their athletic people to trash the field. I mean, I wish I had taken a picture, but there was a mound of trash all along, scattered trash throughout the entire perimeter of the fence that's by the parking lot. I spent some time picking it up, and then I couldn't do any more. And it's, I think we need to, I mean, there are garbage cans right there.
Yeah, there were plenty, we were there Saturday.
Okay, so maybe this is a discussion for another part of the agenda, but we need to look at not only just oversight of what's doing it, but we need to start issuing penalties for people who leave the field trashed and take away their privileges, okay? If it's, I can't know what to say if it's a high school, but if it's a youth game or if it's an adult game, whatever, if we come behind you and you were the last person to use the field, it's yours, you own it. Because if you didn't pick it up before you got there and you just added to it, you're just as much of the problem. But
You know what you're gonna hear though, the other people.
I don't care. I really don't care. The folks who use the fields need to make sure that they take care of it.
Rick, is there
Okay.
anything, when paperwork is sent to these organizations or coaches or whatever, they must get some type of paperwork, right? It's as a part of using the field?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything on that paperwork, you must clean up after yourselves, or?
I don't know if that's on the list or not. but
Lawrence,
you
I'm
would think it's
just,
common
I'm just
sense.
relying upon common sense.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't leave half-eaten apples on an artificial turf,
Yeah.
okay? You don't leave bottle caps or your mouth guards on the artificial turf,
That's the world we live in now,
okay?
unfortunately.
And, I'll address this to all of to the sports organizations. Clean up after yourselves,
Yeah.
all right?
Can a memo be sent out or?
Yeah, I can do that. And we did, years ago, we had a problem with, I won't mention sport, but they were leaving an area of the field with trash all over the place. And we told them that we were going to withdraw their use of that field for 2 weeks, then just start cleaning up. And they did a good job cleaning up after that. We just told them, we're going to not let you use it.
It just
Not only
seems
just that field,
common
but any
sense.
field.
Right.
It does.
Any
Yeah,
field.
common sense.
Okay, you're banned. You got to go find someplace else to practice or play for the next week or two or whatever. But we need, as an organization, we need to start enforcing some common sense cleanliness habits for our fields, because it's not right for Judy to go pick up dog manure or me to pick up trash at a field. It's just, I do it because it just offends me, but at the same time, it doesn't offend the people who leave it behind. That's what just bothers me.
There's people that do that.
Yeah. So, it's not as if there wasn't any availability. I counted them. There were 4 garbage cans up there. 2 on this side of the fence, 2 on the other side of the wooden fence. And they were somewhere, adults were leaving their coffee cups next to the garbage cans. Okay, 2 steps, put it in, come on. Sorry, I just, the high horse today. I've got a bunch of them, trust me. I really got mad when I saw that yesterday morning. I really did.
That was Sunday morning?
That was Sunday morning at 8:30. So it's not as if it cropped up during the day.
Men's game up there?
Refereeing the men's game up there. So,
So on Ellen's report.
yeah.
Back to Ellen.
Back to Ellen, yes, let's go.
I want the last thing there, the ski trips. I don't think we have 90 people signed up already. I don't think we've ever had this many before we even had any even a
Like, we
flurry.
haven't even really put it out there yet, the winter
Well, it's in the,
brochure.
it's in the brochure, but yeah, but it's
Oh,
full. Yeah, I handed it out tonight.
All we need now is snow.
Yeah, but I think we're even trying to get one of our senior buses so we can take at least a couple kids on the waiting list. We don't want to rent a whole nother bus.
Right.
We'll lose a lot of money on it, but if we can use our senior bus, we can pick up another 15 or 16 kids.
My kids
Yeah.
loved it. They did. They did it all 4 years that we
Mhm.
were in Adams and Baldwin. It was a good program.
In her first bullet there, we got something new with Vermont Systems. It's a POS, point of sale. So now with the splash pad, for example, or any group we're working with, if we're people doing donations, the way it has been is you got to sign up like a program. So you got to go through the whole thing of having a user ID, password, and all that, just to make a donation. But now with this point of sale module, it's as simple as making a donation. You don't have to. It's not like going through the whole steps of signing up for a program. So we have that, and it's going to help with the splash pad and help in the future if we have any donations for anything. There's an easy module way to do it now for people. It's just a lot more user friendly for people who want to donate to something.
anything else, Charlie? Seniors program. Fully people.
Yeah. You look at, there's a ton of trips in November. We had the Fall Harvest Dance here last Friday night. There were 105 seniors. The Elderly Brothers, which is Brian Gilly, who's from Guilford, and Tom Stankus, who's not from Guilford. They team up and call themselves the Elderly Brothers, and they play all 50s and 60s stuff. And there were a lot of seniors dancing. I was there that night at it, and they were having a great time. I'd say there were at least 20 people on the floor dancing at any given time. People are 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I said to Terry Buckley that, boy, if we did this once a month, we'll have to call it Cafe A Go-Go or something. Club Cabana, Copacabana or something. But anyway, they had a blast, had a good time. Meal was great as always, and music was good, and people just had a lot of fun. It's great to see seniors out having a great time like that.
Wrapping up the mile.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed by how much they do. Harry's like a dynamo.
She is.
She really is.
Yeah.
Todd, is there anything that you want specifically talk on Todd's? Because I know the community center is on unfinished business.
Yeah,
Wait.
I think just the electric hand dryers, like John was talking about at the the off-campus places. And then 38 new stack chairs have been ordered. Those are being paid for, the price is being split between the seniors and the SIL program. So they're on order. We're going to look at getting some more these kind of tables. Some of them, these here aren't real bad, but some of them have like nicks in them and, scratched kind of, you can catch your wrist on them or whatever. Is there a hole over that? We had one there. So we're looking at replacing some of these and down in the dining area too, getting some more down there, some more round ones.
Septic system, which septic system are we talking about here? For this building here? A&W sanitation pump to septic system. But the tank was full.
Here, yeah.
Here.
Yeah, due to increased building participation, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. How frequently do we do it now? Once a quarter?
It's quarterly. Sometimes when, we think there's a lot going on, we have them come in extra time.
Okay.
But the contract that the town has on them is quarterly. Quarterly here, and then it's, I think it's once a year at the parks, Bittner, Jacobs, and Quantapug.
All right. Commission and representative report. Standing field?
I'm going to defer to Rick on that one. I was unable to attend last Monday's meeting.
So, one of the things that John had asked about, we met at the high school turf field, the stadium field, the old field. That's due to be replaced, and currently, we originally were putting half of the cost in our budget, half in Board of Ed. And in talking with Matt and also with Cliff Gurnham and with Mary Jane, our finance director, it's going to be bonded, so it's all coming out of the same tax dollars anyway, so at this point, it's not in our budget. Be more like Board of Ed, because the town budget, I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but my understanding is the town budget, the bonding is already set for 2021 and 22. So if we couldn't, the town wouldn't put anything on until 3 years out. But the Board of Ed still is doing bonding stuff. So it just made more sense. Plus, they're going to redo the track, and the track is probably about close to half the cost of the whole thing. So it just made, it's all coming out of one package, basically.
So will they hit us up at some point for that money, or?
I don't know. It's up to Matt and Mary Jane. I don't think so. I don't know. But,
No, if it's bonded, it's going to come out of town funds. It's
Right.
not going to come out of,
Right.
right.
But I didn't know if we need to earmark anything in our budget, because,
For now, we haven't, and what we submitted in the capital plan was not in there, but I talked to Mary Jane about that. Just remember, it's got to be in somebody's budget. If it's not in ours, it's got to be in Board of Ed, because it really has to get done. So we walked the field. Matt was there, Matt Hoey, Cliff Gurnham, Paul Schmidt, I think John Kennedy, I don't know if I'm missing anybody, Jake Jarvis. And, we looked at the track. The track, again, is not Parks and Rec responsibility, that's Board of Ed. Track is worse than the field. It needs work. It needs to be redone. And so it just makes sense to do it all at the same time. Why do the track and then the field, or vice versa? So it's put it all together. We're trying to set up a meeting with an architect out there next week. We have some estimates of what it's going to cost, but we're going to all meet with him next week and just kind of fine comb, whatever, finalize what the estimated cost will be to do it.
are they going to keep it as a 6-lane track, or do they explain it to 8?
They don't have any room to move 8. That's one thing we talked about. There's no place to go, though. They're going to be going into the bleachers, that
Right.
bank, there's no place to do it.
Well, without an 8-lane track, they can't do any
Correct.
state tournaments
Yeah.
or host
Yeah.
any
Right.
any
Yeah.
programs there.
But there's just no way to do it.
Has the track been replaced years before?
Well, it was built, I think, in 1999. It's been resurfaced once since then. Yeah. And
I used it
patched.
a few times this summer, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was.
It's cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the chunks, rubber chunks missing, and it's really not ideal at all.
I tripped.
You did?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the patches that was
Yeah.
missing that had been filled in at some point.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
anything else from Sandy?
We walked all the fields. First time we ever did this, we did it all in one day rather than spread it out over a couple weekends. And we in about 4 hours, we hit every field. And the report that John Kennedy wrote up was the overall condition of the fields was excellent, in very good shape. Few exceptions, Lower Cox, which we took out of service this fall. That's in our budget next year to redo that, to strip it down, irrigate it, and sod it. It's in the 5-year budget, or next year's budget, for about 71,000, maybe 75,000, something like that.
It needs to be done. It may look green, but it's not grass.
Yeah, no, it's all weeds. There's
It's
almost
all
no
weeds.
grass there, yeah. But overall, Adams is Adams. It's not in good shape either. But now we have irrigation in there, which is be done this week, I think. That'll make that field come back a lot better, too. But Lee looked great. Cox, you saw what Cox North looked like. It's almost as good as Bidner. I mean, it's a pristine field right now. It came out really, really good. Again, Tony's been doing a different kind of soil amendments and a different approach, and it's really working.
Are they still having issues with the porta potty being tipped over at Cox?
Not since our last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only question I have about Bittner is that, for the soccer games, the goal box area tends to get chewed up because,
Right.
is there a way that we could resod it, or I know at one point, this must have been 20 years ago, we actually put artificial turf down in there
At Bittner?
Yeah, the goalie box, the 6-yard box was artificial. I seem to remember was artificial turf because.
But we resod it every year.
Okay.
Those goal areas.
Yeah, 'cause-
in the fall.
When it gets wet, that area just
Yeah.
gets very slick and.
The south end especially, because
Yes.
at this time of year, it never gets in the
Never
sun.
gets
It's in
any
the
sun.
shade all the time. In fact, I won't be surprised if after this week that it's frozen down there. The cold nights, because the sun never hits it, it doesn't dry
Mhm.
out. But yeah, But that's pretty much on the field committee. They're working on, the stadium field now. The new turf field, there's still a few issues with infill that is being resolved soon. It's playable, it's never been a problem, but there's just some issues of the depth of the infill in
Yeah.
certain spots of the field.
I had a couple of the adult players yesterday thought that the turf was still a little hard, but they thought maybe we needed additional infill in there and roll it out more. Do we have the recommended depth of the infill, or can more be added to make it more of a softer?
There's going to be a little bit more
impact?
added. I don't know if it's going to get softer, though. What I've heard from people between the two fields is they like the stadium field better. It's definitely softer. It's got the crumb rubber.
Yes.
The upper field is
Siliconized sand, yeah.
coated sand, yeah, and it's just, doesn't have the same bounce rubber, like the rubber does. And, yeah, it's just two different fields, two different infills.
No, it's just having an over 50 guy hits that field, it's harder for them to get back up again and start running. But, no, I just had a couple of the adults say that they thought that it would be nice, like you say, it needed to be rolled out a little bit more because there were some bumps in there, but they thought maybe a little bit more infill may make it a little bit more cushioning.
We're working on trying to do that, get another truckload of infill there.
Okay.
Green Committee,
No meeting?
land acquisition is me. Can't discuss anything.
Well, I can tell you one thing, that according to what's the newspaper we get every Thursday? The Courier.
Courier.
Yes, that area that I had thought about potentially being available for use was sold for $5.7 million. So that is, a fantasy of having us use the
They
old.
did look at that.
Yes, they did, yes.
I mean,
But
it was brought up multiple times by me. They did look.
It was sold, so that's out of the picture now.
Community center improvements? Ceiling tiles.
Yeah, I think you saw the list for Todd there.
Yeah. Splash pad? You want me to talk about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rick, Mandy, myself, and Tom. I get my playgrounds mixed up. Met at Jacobs Beach last week to go over the site, where we would like it to be, our ideas of what we want it to look like, and ideas for him to come up with water usage, the runoff. We also talked about the parking lot. So everything is in motion. He is working on those ideas. Did we come up with how big? We measured it, like we kind of measured it out while we were there. Yeah.
Sorry, how many feet?
The original proposal was much bigger.
50 by 50, is that what you're talking
Yeah, in a circular motion.
about? Circular rather than.
Yeah,
square.
yeah, so it can go along the line of the grass there. But originally, they came out with a number, and we plotted that out, and we thought it was way too big. So I wouldn't say we cut it in half, but almost cut it in half.
And we
So-
don't putting it where?
Where the Gaga pit was, so where the,
In the sand there.
yeah, that,
The big thing.
yeah, the giant sandbox.
When you walk
But
into the
so-
kayaks, it's on the right.
Yep, so that it would curve along the side of the grass there. There's a little tree, and then there's the boat racks.
Okay.
So it's kind of out of the way, it's close to the playground. That way it gave you all the rest of the beach. And it's also got the shower right there that we could tap into water. So,
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
so for proximity of playground and keeping everything on one side, and not having things here, here, just keeping it together, we thought would be the best.
So I got, late this afternoon, I got an email from Tom. He's working on a conceptual plan. He's hoping to have that done next week. He does want to take test pits. He wants to give 2 alternate spots at Jacobs. He wants to look at where you just talked about, and maybe one other spot, just to look as an option. And so, it was about 4:30, 4:45, I think I got the email from him. And so I just told him that, I'll have to work and see if I can get a backhoe down there and do some test pits, because we got to provide that. And we don't have one, so I got to either ask Board of Ed or Public Works if they can come down with their backhoe and do a couple. And he said, once he has that, he'll be able to kind of get the conceptual plan done, get it to the committee, and then once the committee looks at it and says, hey, this is pretty good, or do this, do that, then we'll set up the meeting with the Town Hall South group, which is planning and zoning, inland wetlands, environmental planner, town engineer, health director, everybody all meets, they meet every Tuesday. And we'll get set up in a meeting there, once, the committee likes the concept. And then, what other direction we have to do, okay, where do we go next, planning and zoning, wetlands, get the CAM application, whatever else has to be done to get it
Then,
moving.
once all of that is done, then we can present it to the public.
Right, yeah.
I know this is probably a far-reaching question, but do we have any idea as to the amount of gallonage of water it's going to be used, or?
That depends on
The
the number
size.
of heads
Yes.
that we choose. We are not looking to have huge fountains. We're not like the water parks where we want a big bucket to fall on you. We're looking at more ground features and then a few color ones, trying to make it natural and fit the setting, not, giant colors and big things.
And the base, what are you using as a base, concrete? Okay.
That's one of the things, Tom, they're trying to figure out they can't figure out the gallons until they know how many heads and what we're going to put out there.
Right.
So, once he has a concept and the committee approves the concept, then they can say, okay, this is the estimated number of gallons, of water, which we'll need to know a budget time to put into the budget.
Mandy, do you have anything you want me to add to that? Yep, you guys can go on to the Facebook splash pad for the bricks, or you can do that here on the website. They have the point of sale system. You can make donations through here. But yeah. And Tom is developing how we're going to use our bricks in our concept, so. Okay, that's it. Unfinished business, parking issues. We're never gonna be done.
52 Church Street.
We what?
There's nothing new there.
I'm like, we can park there? What?
Well, we do, but
Yeah.
Um,
it wasn't so good the day of what you saw, trying to
Yeah.
walk over for the day of the spectacular. It was a river. It was a river.
Okay, just as a segue, something I brought up before about parking at Bittner. Still like to see the handicap spots down by the playground.
Yeah, well, I want to do that, but I want Public Works to open, because it's a big puddle all the time.
There's always a
So
big
I
puddle
gotta get
there.
them to open it, they're aware of it, I've been asking them to come down, and they're busy, but to grade that so we can get the water to drain out of there. We have the signs to put there, but I don't want,
That's
I don't want
always
doing
been
their
a
parking in a
puddle,
puddle.
since I can remember.
It's always been a puddle, but,
we gotta drain it out.
okay.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up again next
next
opportunity.
Stay on it.
I'm
All right, the ADA at Chaffinch Island and Lake Quinnipiac.
Nothing new, I mean, we kind of know what we want to do at Chaffinch, Quanapug. We know that's going to be more of a challenge there, trying to do something. I think I mentioned last meeting, I met with George Godovan there, former building inspector, who's kind of up on ADA requirements, and we would have to create like a ramp. If you're looking at the gate to the right, I think it went 4, maybe 5 fence sections, would have to be stone dust or something. And then another gate there to have access for somebody if they're in a wheelchair. He saw no way to do it the way it is now because it's so steep, where the gate is now, unless we had to, we move the fence closer to the water. I don't think we're gonna do that. We don't have a lot of beach there as it is. But it's just too steep to make a runoff there. We'd have to kind of go along the edge of the fence and then have another opening there somewhere. So I guess at some point, maybe we should meet up there and decide, do we want to do it? Do we want to maybe get a beach wheelchair to have there? That might be easier, less expensive, long run, to do something like that. But I think that's something we got to figure out what we want to do.
We may want to do the beach wheelchair just to have, especially if we can't do anything.
Yeah. Except, you know what, I just thought about this, is that it's still a problem getting over that hump down to the gate,
Oh, yeah.
no matter what. I mean, it's still so steep. So, I think we need to have a further conversation what we're gonna do there.
And then, Chapinch, and I feel really bad that I always forget her name, Kim? Over Town Hall?
Kim, yeah.
Has she gone out to look at it? with
Yeah,
you
she
guys?
looked at it
Yeah.
with me maybe a couple months ago, and I think we brought a map last time to show where we think it would go. If you folks, if you want me to meet with you down there, because I know you have some concerns about it, give me a call. I'd be happy to go and show you what we're thinking of there. And then, I'm not available every day, but if I have a time, I can set up a time to meet with you down there. Yeah, there's no timetable when this is going to get done, if it's going to be a Boy Scout project, if our guy's going to do it. If we do it, it's going to probably be a winter project. But it's something we at some point, we've got to do it.
And-
Boy Scouts do the handicap picnic tables?
Yeah, they could, sure.
I was just gonna ask,
Yeah.
have we put it on Tony's list for next year for the picnic tables? Because I know they bring them in and they fix them and everything, but to build.
Yeah, we would either build it ourselves or scout. It would be a nice Eagle project to do that. Or they could even, again, if an Eagle Scout wanted to do this whole thing, create the walkway and a handicap accessible table, that'd be nice. I don't know if, we had 9 Eagle Scouts last year, and I think they all got eagled out.
I know, we may be out of luck for a while.
There's nobody else, like, in the wings, well, there are some in the wings, but they haven't come to me yet, so I don't know who they are, who's, but, I'm sure there are other kids coming up.
If, for the stone dust for that, if that's our choice, do we have to add to the budget? Or do we have enough in budget to make it last
Yeah.
to do what we need to do
It's
everywhere?
It's not a lot. Stone dust
Okay.
isn't all that expensive. We have some left over at Bittner we could probably use. It's pretty inexpensive.
Do you have stone dust anywhere else in
Everywhere.
Stone dust, anything, yeah,
the town? Where?
walkways.
I mean, just to use it to test.
At Bittner we have some, an area where we had asphalt and the roots by the home run fence at the Bittner softball field. There's not a big area, maybe 50 feet, that the roots had heaved up the asphalt, so we didn't want to cut the trees down, hurt the roots, so we took the asphalt out and put stone dust there. And
it
that was
works.
a
I've
little over a
been
year
pushing
ago,
my
I think.
mother's wheelchair on that for the last 3 months.
Have you tried it with transport chair?
Yep, she has a rollator, she has a regular walker, and she has a wheelchair, and all 3 of them make it through it. Which is so much fun for me. I do. Adams irrigation, he said it was almost complete.
Complete this week. I think it would have been done last week. We didn't have rain all week, but it's almost done.
Are they going to test it and then drain it?
Yeah, yeah.
Community center ceiling tiles.
Yeah, this one we're going to talk about a little bit. I think at the last meeting, the commission approved, I think, $78,000. We had the bid opening today. 2 bids. I don't know if I even want to tell you the high one, but the high bid was almost $200,000. It was unbelievable.
For the whole room?
Yeah. But the second bid was $87,000. So much closer to what we have in the, what we planned for it.
Okay.
It's
there's
huge.
something wrong
Yeah,
there.
that's a really,
No, well,
really
this
big
is
gap.
not unusual. We find this when we bid things out. Either one company is just really busy, they don't really want to do it, so they just throw a number in. Or they're just thinking it's the town, they'll pay whatever you want. But, so, this all happened, 2 o'clock this afternoon was the bid opening. So I gave the architect was not there. I asked him to check the references on the lower bidder. And if everything's pans out, then we got to talk to them about schedule and everything else. But another option might be that we don't do both rooms. However, the bid was structured to do Guilford and Whitfield. It wasn't
Right.
like one or the other. So I don't know. I'd have to talk to Pam. Can we do it that way? I don't know.
Did the materials that they submitted meet our specifications?
We spec'd it.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
They have to
met
meet the
those
specs. Yeah, yeah. When I say we, our
We didn't get a
architects
third
spec'd it.
bid? We didn't get a third bid?
No, just 2.
Just 2?
There were 4 that came to the walkthrough, and only 2 bid on it. So, so where it is again, late this afternoon, I emailed our architect, asked him to check the references on the low bidder. And if they feel like they can handle the job, then we talk about what we want to do. I think I'd like to suggest, since we approved 78, I'd like to recommend that we approve, add 10,000 to that, 88. Or we have to rebid it, and it probably doesn't happen. Or we rebid it and just bid it for one room. But I think we've gotten to this point that we should probably just bite the bullet and do it, just get it done.
Well, it hasn't been done since the building.
It's original, right. The problem is in the Guilford room side, it's a mixed match of tiles there now, because the kind that were originally there, they don't make them anymore. And so when basketballs get thrown up there and they knock them out, Todd has been taking them from, these kind and putting them up there, and you see it's like a patchwork.
I can't believe they can get a basketball up there. It's amazing.
They kick it, throw it, whatever.
What
But the
what
ones-
about
The
the the skylight?
So that was an alternate. We estimated the alternate for that was gonna cost 8,000. I did not include that in what we approved. It's 5,000 if we wanna do it, 5,000 more. So right now, it's just,
Or not, or to just cover it?
no, make it work in a new shade, new motor, new shade. And right now, the shade it's all ripped. It's closed, but there's a big rip mark in it. It's been like that for, I'll say 12 years, maybe more. Helium balloon got stuck up in there.
Yeah.
All right, so, do we want to make a motion to, increase this tiles to 88,000? Do you want, well, I guess we should vote first. Do we want to fix the little window and shade to make it work?
What do you think about that? What's your opinion?
Well, it's in a closed position. I mean, that's where, if it's stuck anywhere, closed is better, because, sometimes there are daytime still programs in there, and you gotta, try to darken the room up for films or whatever. I mean, when you leave, take a look, see what you think, but the only problem is that it does have this tear in it that you can see. It's there, but not, I mean, people don't usually stand up there looking like this either, so I'm not sure anybody really notices it. But,
The hours I spend in there in the winter for pickleball, I never noticed it.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying, it's not that noticeable, it's 30 feet up.
I feel like if we're increasing the budget on this, 11,000 or 10,000, I don't think we should be adding any more onto it. Really don't.
If we, for some reason down the line, decided to change it, it's not going to affect the work that's done on the
No.
ceiling. So it could be done at another time. It doesn't have to be done now.
Right.
Okay.
If we do, it might cost more, because we threw it in there as an alternate, thinking that they're gonna be here with the lifts and everything anyway, while they're here, they already got the stuff, they can just go up and do that. But I think I kinda agree, and that's why we put it as an alternate, we didn't see it as a high priority. We threw it in,
Where
just,
did we get the $78,000?
that was an estimate from the architect, what they thought it would cost, so it ended up being 9,000 more than that. And I'm suggesting 1,000 more, just, what happens with projects. There may be something that, there's a change order or something happens.
Where's this funding coming from again?
Program account, yeah.
So it's got to get done, I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
So I make a motion to increase the budget by 10 grand.
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, just hopefully the references pan out well. We'll know that hopefully in the next couple of days.
This is a silly question, but do you know that any other of your contemporaries across the state has a similar type of roof, or similar like South Windsor, or East Haven, or East
I
Hartford?
don't know. There are a lot of community centers, but I think ours is kind of unique with the slope and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peddler's ordinance, that's me. In our correspondence, Rick and Ellen had discussed issues with the new peddler ordinance that We can no longer control who is at Jacobs Beach. I did send those questions on to Matt. We are gonna meet about those. And I did take notes on our suggestions and concerns about camp and the beach and our lemonade stand. So hopefully by next month, I will have a full report on that. If I get it before then, I will send it to you guys. So if you have more questions, that we can get a better understanding by the next meeting. But you guys do know that it doesn't affect the green, right? It's just us? Okay.
Green Estate, right?
No, it just, they just were, we were the only ones charging and being specific. So that's why the peddlers ordinance came about, because they are in jurisdiction of the parking lots, not us. That one was put in the ordinance just for us. Lake Quantapug regulations ordinance for parking lot. Rick has outlined some of the issues. The one thing I would love to add to this, Rick, is I think our main concern with the tents and the grills and all of that in the parking lot at Lake Quantapug is safety. I think that needs to be expressed in here before we bring it to the Board of Selectmen. It's not to diminish anyone using Lake Quantapug, but it's a safety concern that grills should not be in the parking lot, tents should not be in the parking lot. There is a grass area with grills, that's where it should be used. There's a grass area to play, that's where your children should play, or at the beach. Not in the parking lot between cars.
So we are effectively banning tents and grills in the lower lot.
Along the fence.
Yes.
What happened? Go ahead.
Weren't we talking about making that part, like the parking go closer to the fence?
We had thought about
'Cause there are the
that.
boulders
There
there,
was
right?
a
I don't know, I thought we were gonna
suggestion,
move
and
it.
I forgot there was a reason we couldn't do it or shouldn't do it.
Well, trees, because
Right.
we'd have to probably take trees down to do that, or they'd be driving over the roots of the trees and, get compacted and all that. And we originally thought about thinking we might gain more parking by having like maybe a center aisle too, but we wouldn't get that.
It wouldn't work.
No. So it'd be taking away some aesthetics. I mean, if we park them right up to the fence, then you can't set up a tent there, But we probably lose whatever trees are there. And now you also lose that, I mean, it is kind of nice having that buffer of grass between the fence and the parking lot. We would lose that.
Right, it's somewhere for your kids to
Right.
go when they're getting out of the car.
Yeah, safer to do that than to walk in the parking lot, cars backing out and whatever.
Should we put something in here like, grilling or prohibits tents and grilling in the parking lots and in areas immediately adjacent to the parking lots? Because people are going to set up on the grass here right next to the parking lot, right? And they're going to go, that's not the parking lot.
That's where they set up now. So like, you know how when you're, the fence line on 77?
Yeah.
There's a grassy strip, and then there's parking?
Yeah.
That grassy strip is where all the pop-ups are, the grills, people sleeping in the grass
Yeah.
all day long.
Okay. All right, okay.
So maybe say grilling in the park or adjacent to parking lots, maybe something to that effect.
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
just-
you're right, they're not really in the parking lot.
Yeah,
How about simplifying and saying all
Yeah.
grilling and
Yeah.
play must take place in the grass area by the
Inappropriate area.
kiosk where it says there's a grill.
But you're setting up all these rules, how are you gonna
Well, that's
make
why-
them, and who's gonna monitor them, and,
Well, that's why if we make it an ordinance with the town, with the Board of Selectmen and the town,
Then they can be
it can be posted and then they can be
Okay.
cited by the police. If we just say it as a commission, say, we're not allowing this, we kind of really don't have a leg to stand on.
grass here, well, I'm not in the parking lot.
Right.
I think we say something like, in designated grass area, something to that effect. But I added Jacobs here too. It's not a problem at Jacobs now, but we don't want it to become one, right? We don't want people setting up grills, along the boardwalk or something at Jacobs.
I think the main issue is just starting in and out right there.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it's
Right.
a safety issue, it really is.
I mean, there was concern of, if we moved the gate guard over to the beach side, it was safety of the kids crossing the road. Well, the kids cross the road anyway. But now they're playing in the parking lot, and that's what we need to stop. So,
So I'll add something about safety concerned, kids in a lot, and then, grilling must take place in designated grass area, in either place. At Jacobs, obviously, it's by the picnic pavilions, or Quantapug, that area behind the kiosk.
What, are you talking about grilling only up on the upper level of Lake Quanapug then?
no, there is a small grill in the grassy
But
area
people are
by the
bringing their
kiosk.
own, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big issue. Like, I mean, you're.
Yeah, they dump the coals behind the car.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's a really big issue. Like, we should actually have, they can only grill in the grills that are provided by the town, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point,
One
yeah.
thing they've done over at Hammonasset State Park is that they put in coal bins, that you take your coals, you dump them in this designated area, so they are not scattered, so people walk on them with bare feet, or dogs walk on them with their paws. There are designated coal bins, or
We-
charcoal bins.
Just,
that
I'll
you
just
pour
throw
your
out there,
co-
could we take the,
hot coals in.
can we take the charcoal grills out now and just say no grilling at Lake Quanapug or Jacobs Beach?
Well, I think Jacobs Beach, the pavilions are there, that it's like, it's there for that. The one at Lake Quinnipiac is kind of like just there.
Didn't it just get rebuilt a few years ago?
Well,
That's
that's the
the
one up
upper
in the
deck.
pavilion.
It was a
Which
Boy
is
Scout
beautiful.
project, yeah. But on the grass area, there is one grill, I think, but,
I think Lawrence is right. If we take it out, then it won't be an issue.
No grilling.
No grilling. Except on the upper level with the.
Rental
with-
of the
with-
pavilion.
With the rental of the
Open,
pavilion.
seems like then it's encouraging people to bring grills, but we're trying to get them not to be grilling along that area, and there's not that much space then to have, there are a lot of people who are there, and there's not that much space then to have grills.
Yeah.
No, you can have a sign at the entrance, grilling at upper level only. That's it.
But
Yeah, but-
can you go up to the can you use that
You
unless
have to
you've
reserve
reserved
it.
it? You have to
You have to
reserve
reserve
it,
it.
so I
So I
don't
wouldn't
think you
even
could
put
say
that up
that.
there, that
I
just
think it
opens it
just
wide
is a
up.
perk of preserving that space, right?
Yeah.
right. I don't know, so are we thinking no grilling at all? Because we were thinking originally in that grass area, behind the kiosk would be okay.
Well, there's
There is
also
a
the,
grill there.
the crew team also parks their trailer there too.
Yeah, but in the summer it's gone. They have to move it out. We don't let them keep it there in the summer because we
Okay.
need all the parking space we can get.
Yeah, I was just saying, I've seen it every day there since, for the last several months.
Yeah, well, they had a fall program there. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem if they're not in the parking lot, but on that grassy area. I think probably get 5 or 6 pop-up tents there, I suppose you could fit in there probably, not 20.
And the other thing we talked about too is that, for the pavilions at Jacobs and the pavilions at Lake Quanapug, we need to have a sign there saying that this is,
Reserve.
it is reserved, open or reserved. If it's
I-
open, then anybody can use it. If it's
I
reserved.
saw one in North Carolina, I took a picture of it, there was like a little kiosk, more than what we need, I think, it was a kiosk at a picnic pavilion, had the rules, but, by reservation only, and they listed who was there for that weekend, who reserved it, so, and that's something we talked about, doing something like that.
The ones that they have over, again, over Hammonasset are very simple. It's just a sign that flips in the middle, says open or reserved.
Mhm.
And that's it. And the park ranger goes around every morning, puts the reserve sign on all the ones that are reserved, and at the end of the day, flips them back over to open. And they have a lot of pavilions over there. So, it's easy. It's really simple.
Do we want to take a vote on, are we removing the one grill at Lake Quinnipiac in the grass area?
I don't spend any time up there, so I just threw it out there. I mean, is it feasible?
When I go there, I'm not in the parking lot, I'm on the beach and in the water, so
Yeah.
I don't use it.
If it's an inherent risk, let's get rid of it. I don't see any reason for it to be there. Especially if that's where the cars are parked for the employees to park over there too, is that correct?
Yeah, next to that grass area.
Yeah. Another little problem that may come up.
You could just make it, like you said, the upper area where the pavilion just only hooking up there. I mean, I don't know, I don't spend any time there, though. Is it feasible, or?
I mean, it's not a huge, I don't see a ton of people using the one grill, because they all bring their smokers and their little
There are a
grills.
lot, though. could be 15
Oh, yeah.
separate grills going. It becomes an all-day event. I mean, I'm trying to look at it from two sides. One is, it's great, families are coming in and are spending a day at the beach.
Absolutely.
You know, that's wonderful. But it's also, the downside is they're coming to spend a day at the beach, so the parking lot gets full, and other people can't get in and might want to come and swim for an hour. You can't get in there.
Right.
You know, it's kind of hard to limit and say that, well, you can come for 3 hours, 4 hours, and then you got to go. I mean, how do you monitor it? How do you do that?
Well, I mean, if it continues to be a problem year after year, then one of the solutions that we need to look at is, do we do parking meters?
Right, which actually Madison's doing something like that
Right.
now. They charge per hour.
So,
But the initial problem was the grilling in the parking lot.
the
Right.
tents and the
So we
grilling in the
just,
parking lot.
yeah, so just outlaw it there, like, right?
I mean, my feeling is, I don't have a problem with the grill over there. I have a problem with the grills in the parking lot.
Right.
Because that's a designated area. That's where it's supposed to take place. That's a picnic area. That's where the grill is. It's just like at Jacobs Beach. It's a, you know, that's your picnic
But we should probably
area.
have a charcoal bucket there in that.
If we're gonna allow it,
If we're
maybe.
gonna allow.
And I mean, I think if you post, I mean, this summer is a trial. We're trying new things, and some are working, some aren't. I mean, this summer, we make this an ordinance, we post it. We somehow block without taking away that space, that grass space, but make it harder to set up there. And then if it's still a problem, then we just ban grilling completely. But I think, I mean,
So we should talk on just going with the original right down here.
Yeah.
I think it's a step. I think it's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
Try it this way, let's still ban it from the parking lot. You know, if people want to go in that grassy area and put a pop-up tent and have something there, then maybe that's not so bad. You know, it does take it out of the parking lot for sure. But it still gives a place for some of those families who want to come and cook some hamburgers or hot dogs, gives them a place to do it. That, to me, that makes sense. If that's agreeable to everybody?
so next month you'll bring back,
Yeah.
with more notes in it,
Yeah.
safety. And then do we as a commission just give this to you with our approval to bring to Board of Selectmen, or do any of us need to go and present it to make it an ordinance? Do you know the
Yeah,
steps
probably
for
when that
that?
happens, we should, you know, you or Rose or any commissioner maybe come when we're ready to do that. I could probably run it by, once we finalize what we want here, I can run it by Matt, see if he sees it. Pam's gonna probably weigh in on it, make
Right.
sure there's no legal issues or anything, and then get maybe the final form, if there's any changes to it. I mean, this could be a 2 or 3 month process,
Right.
but it's good we're starting it now, because we want to make sure it's in place for next year.
Do we need to run it by the department to see? I mean,
If it's
again-
an ordinance, I'm sure that they're gonna want to make sure that they have input on it, yeah.
Fabulous. 5-year capital plan. Sorry for my enthusiasm about that one.
Did you get one, John? Kelly?
So a few things changed on the first page, but really the biggest changes would be on the second page, just because it's the actual equipment that we were kind of guessing on last month.
Right.
Okay.
And so we moved a few things around after I talked with Tony. Some things were higher priority, we just moved a couple things. I don't think the prices changed too much on the equipment stuff. I don't have what we originally had, but the roller did. The roller is about double, but it's a bigger roller that he's looking for than what we originally talked about. Public Works has one similar to this, and Tony said, yeah, if we can get one like that. The real biggest need for that is rolling the lips of the fields, like the edge where the clay and the grass meet. We got to get a heavier one. The one we have now is a 1 ton. It just doesn't press it down enough, and so we need a heavier duty roller to do that. And this thing will last us probably at least 20 years, 20, 30 years. I mean, the one we have now is 1993 or 4 or 5, I think. So it's probably 24 years old. It still works, it's not heavy duty enough. But other than that, I mean, everything I think is pretty close to what we had. The 20 passenger bus for 21-22 that'll be our third, I think, new bus in 4 years. So all of them, that would replace a 2008 bus, which would be, 13 years old then? 2014, but really by the time we get it, probably. But it's got a lot of miles, it's got 113,000 miles on it. And,
Does any of the grants cover that, or is that just drivers and?
the grant, that's what that grant, the bus is really 80,000 or so.
Okay.
We were only gonna think this is gonna cost 16. But if you look down at 24, 25, I put in the full amount, 85,000. I mean, there's just no guarantee we're gonna get these grants. We've been really fortunate that we've been getting them, but at some point, they're gonna say, we gave you guys a lot of money, we've gotta spread it out to someone else. So for that one, 5 years out, I'm putting the full amount in. We may find out when we get there, they might say, oh yeah, we've got a whole new source of funding, and maybe that ends up being $60,000 or $70,000. But I'd rather put the full amount in and be able to back off on it than the other way around.
Hey, Rick, can you change the name of that snowmobile? Because every time I look at it, I'm thinking snowmobile. What's wrong with that
Snowmobile.
snowmobile part?
That's what it's
Every
called.
time I look at it.
Portable stage. Yeah, well, that we, we've had that in for a while in our 5-year plan, so we're getting closer to it. I mean, by the time we do it, it's gonna be 26 years old. It's starting to show its age a little bit now. It gets a lot of use. It was used Saturday at the fairgrounds. There was a race, APK race, and it is rented out. We charge $100, when a group uses it. So that goes into our, under our town general fund budget, there's miscellaneous revenue, which the ice cream vendor used to go in that, and which we're not gonna have anymore. But that's, anytime we rent out the showmobile, it goes in there. So it's revenue to the town. But it is used a lot. Next time it'll be used is tree lighting, Christmas tree lighting on December 6th.
Anything on this front page that really changed?
The biggest change is the park garage, and this is really a huge unknown, because where's it gonna go? So the design, it got that directly from a architectural firm. Tony kind of drew up what we would like to have. Part of that includes like an overhang to park our buses under. Because in the winter, we used to be able to park it under at Public Works, they had a place where they hung their sanders. Of course, in the winter, sanders are on the truck, so that structure fell down, so it's not there anymore. So now our buses are parked in the snow, and by law, you're not supposed to drive with snow on the roof, but our drivers can't get the snow off down there. They bring it from there to here, and then Todd has a roof rake, and he cleans them off. So they're driving from the garage to here. Fortunately, it's only like 1.5 miles, but, these guys are in their 70s and 80s, well, 80s or 70s, are bus drivers, and they're not gonna get up on the roof and clear that snow off. So Todd does it. But the design of this building would have an overhang where we could park the buses under it, and we wouldn't have that issue with the snow. It's got three heated bays, storage room, restroom, which, the guys didn't have that. Workshop, the overhang for the bus parking, site work. Again, there's a lot of it we don't know, because we have no idea where this is gonna go. We know that town fathers do not want to have any more construction down where it is right now. We thought originally, can we move across the street from where we are now? It's all town property, but they don't want to build anything down there anymore. So it'd be somewhere else. And this does not include land purchase. It just includes, in that, there's about $1 million of site work.
So, next year's budget, we have money for the design of the park garage.
Right.
Between now and the time that we need to spend that money, will the town, are they actively pushing location for this? Because I know it's a bigger conversation that they're looking to move Public Works and making it, so is it realistic for us to put that money next year? Because what's the point of designing something if we don't know where it's going? Because then the design could change with the land that we end up on.
it may get pushed back a year, but, again, I spoke with Mary Jane, I think, about this, and it's like, we gotta have a placeholder, we gotta keep it in there.
So they're encouraging us to keep it where it is.
They have not told us not to put it there. I guess when we have the budget presentation, they may say, yeah, you gotta push that back 3 years, I mean, let them tell us that, but,
Well, if they
We
move
gotta put
that
something in there.
back to 2021, 22, is that gonna rebuild Adams tennis courts and construct pickleball
somehow I knew you were gonna
courts?
talk about pickleball. That's in there for that year.
Yeah, but it's in there. I thought it was gonna be this year, and it got moved back some more. I mean, it got moved, maybe I'm misthought, but I thought it was gonna go in the
Yeah,
capital budget.
I'd have to look at last year's budget, Judy. I don't remember if that was the year we had it. I know it was in the 5-year plan. It's 2 years out now. I mean, originally it was 5 years out. We're getting closer to it. So, but anyway, there's still some hoops we have to go through with that, too. We're gonna have to go to Wetlands Commission, Planning and Zoning. But I think did I have a design in there? That included a design.
No, I don't see anything.
I think that cost included a design, I think. Pretty sure it did. But,
Yeah, it says, mine says and design for pickleball.
I mean, it clearly can be done in 1 year. It could get designed in fall and, or summer and built by the next spring.
I'll be getting too old to play pickleball if you keep pushing it back.
Hey, we got people in their 80s playing.
Don't worry, we'll follow
If there's a need, you should, I mean.
I know, I
I'm
saw
just
some out there
letting
the
you
other day.
know again and again.
Well, now, I mean, it's popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and people are, want to know where they can play this winter, and I'm like, I don't know, only a few can play inside in the kitchen area. The rest of you are, we can't accommodate everybody that wants to play.
And I should have mentioned, when we were talking about the ceiling construction down there, that's gonna clearly push our programs back probably a month. Because we can't do anything in that room when they're doing the ceiling tile. So gymnastics, pickleball, anything that would have been scheduled there in January may get pushed back to starting in February, because
Good to know.
they gotta get it done. Yeah.
This is a off-the-wall suggestion, but does the Guilford Racket Club have spare time during the winter? That we could rent, that we could rent?
We do.
We have worked with them, but they opened up a big pickleball, we pay, I'm not sure whether you have to belong to the club, but I don't think you do, and you can sign up in $8 an hour or whatever.
But I'm saying if we could just, if we had the funds available, if we could rent time from them so that we have a place for indoor pickleball players. We rent one court, that's 2 games, pickleball games, right? So how many hours do we need?
Well, they're so full, they're so jammed up, and they're making more money than what we did. We did
Okay.
share time, but I don't think we have this year.
Yeah,
I'm not in charge of the
They're working on
villages.
the winter program, the budget. I'm not in the brochure. I don't know if program staff have anything in there, or if Terry's put something in there, but we have worked with the Racket Club and had pickleball in there in the winter. It costs more, because we had to,
But it must be going there because they have a sign outside
Yeah.
now. When you drive past it, it's advertising
Yeah.
pickleball.
Oh, they do,
also.
okay, I
Yeah,
wasn't aware of that.
yeah, I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
They want us to charge
Now,
twice as much.
with
Yeah.
with schools, do we have time, or basketball, does basketball suck up
takes up
all the gym time?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
We've tried that too. There's just no room.
It's a very popular program. It's grown like crazy in the last 6-7 years. It really picked up.
No, you could play in the basement of St. George if you get all the tables out of there. You can get one
Yeah.
court in there.
Yeah.
I talked to Father about that.
Any other questions about capital budgets?
No?
No?
Nope.
Any new business?
Just one question here with regard to, took a hike on Baldwin Trails. Somebody did a beautiful job. I don't know who it is. I wish to thank them for blazing the purple trail.
That was Bill Johnson.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job on it. The only problem is the purple trail ends at the red trail, and then you get lost, because the other trails aren't blazed. So,
He's working on those. In fact, he asked if we can update the map, so I gotta
yeah, that
talk
was
to
my
Kevin
next
McGee
question.
and see if we can, the GIS, if they can help us with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, we talked about the Eagle projects. When you walk onto the purple trail just off the Baldwin parking lot, there about 100 feet in, there's a stream. And the stream has just rocks. There's another bridge project for an Eagle Scout to work on. And the only other thing, I had sent you an email, and I had brought it up with Anthony about just getting the trash cans in from Lake Quanapug. I mean,
Yeah,
the lake's closed.
He and I
might as well
just
bring
talked
them in.
about that today. Yeah, we're gonna start bringing them in.
Okay.
Because the crew program just ended a week or two ago, and we want to keep up there until then. He actually winterized that bathroom today, so now
Okay.
it's officially closed.
Okay.
Yeah, we're bringing in a lot. I mean, all the fields, we're bringing everything in that doesn't need to be out anymore.
And-
And we'll clean them and they'll be in good shape for next spring.
Last Thursday, we had the finals for the Adult Softball League. And the Bittner Park Adult Softball League, the field was in the best condition I had seen it ever. It was in fantastic shape. I mean, it was properly groomed, the grass was green, I mean, it was just pristine. And so again, kudos to Anthony and his crew for making that place shine. But it was A+.
Thank you.
They deserve credit for what they had done for them.
Anyone else?
Rick, anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn at
7:49.
7:40.
Thank you. Oh, someone want to second, sorry. Kara seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Kara was gonna be back.
Hey, Lois,